Hello again, and welcome to August episode of Inside TYPO3. This month we have an extended episode where we sit down and talk with speakers and attendees from the TYPO3 Developers Days conference that took place in Karlsruhe, southern Germany this August. If you're not familiar, the TYPO3 Developer Days is a yearly developer conference and is organised by the TYPO3 GmbH and supported by several organisations including J-Violent, Ionos and PAUDG. This year was the second event post-pandemic and was a resounding success. But before we head over to Karlsruhe, let's get up to date with the latest information on releases, extension updates and upcoming events from the TYPO3 community. August saw a maintenance release for TYPO3 12 with version 12.4.5, and we also saw a security release for TYPO3 version 12 and 11 at the very end of July. It was a relatively quiet month for extensions. Grid Element saw a minor update that addresses several issues in preparation for its upcoming support for TYPO3 version 12, and in addition we saw minor updates for Style Guide, PowerMail, Bootstrap Package and Container. For more information on TYPO3 releases, visit get.typo3.org, and for more information on extensions, head over to extensions.typo3.org. Next, it's events. We have a remote contribution day taking place on the 15th of September, followed by a code sprint between the 18th and the 21st of September in Marburg. If higher education is more your thing, the TYPO3 University Days kicks off between the 19th and the 20th of September in Darmstadt. And finally, why not take a trip to France this autumn for TYPO3 Camp Nantes, which starts on the 6th of October and finishes on the 8th. And don't forget, tickets are still available for TYPO3Con, which takes place between the 12th and the 13th of October here in Dusseldorf. For more information on any of these events, head over to typo3.org/community/events. Next up is our first interview with Tomasz Woldanski and Lukas Uznanski from Macopedia, a consultancy and technology company based in Poland. Together, they lead the TYPO3 Headless project. And in this interview, I find out about their motives for creating the project and ask how others can get involved and start using their Headless extension and Nux TYPO3 package. I'm joined by Lukas Uznanski and Tomasz Woldanski from the TYPO3 Headless project. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's the second day of the Developer Days, and yesterday you gave your workshop on the Headless project. How did it go?
I guess it went pretty well. We had a lot of developers that were working with us, and we managed to go through
basic stuff and how to set up the project, how to deal with the basic content elements, how to integrate external extensions. To do the basic stuff, you can start from scratch in minutes. So we go through it, and a lot of people came. I think they have fun. I think so. That's it.
So if we step back a little bit, in terms of the TYPO3 world, Headless is a fairly new concept. So could you tell me a little bit of the history behind the project? Was there demand for this? What brought about it?
Okay, so there are two main things that we need to talk about. So first of all, we had a client that wanted this new website based on PWA features and have this new all of new modern technologies. So that's when actually we started developing this Headless project. And the second one is the front-end developers that worked with us. We had a really big problem with recruiting new developers because of the old stack, and also people from front-end needed to know a lot of things about TYPO3 and related to TYPO3. So there are some limitations to building, many in TypoScript and to, integrate into Fluid. And we wanted to get rid of those limitations and to unify front-end stack.
Sure. So I suppose you could hire a completely new front-end developer out of university or wherever else, and then they could get to work on building the front end almost straight away.
Yeah, it's for us. It's we had usually it was about 1 month of onboarding, and right now it's down to 2 days, because if front-end developer knows Vue.js, then it basically after a short introduction he's ready to work with this solution. So it's very easy to get into.
So there was demand I guess there are two parts. There was some demand from customers, and equally from your perspective, it was easier to hire front-end developers and get them to work on building an SPA or front-end straight out the box. Thank you. So if I've got a regular TYPO3 installation and I want to convert that into a headless instance, what do I need to do first of all?
For example, you have to just download our extension from the Composer or Terra repository, but we recommend the Composer way, all the way. So you just install our extension in the TYPO3, include our the basic setup for headless TYPOScript, and after 30 seconds of this work, you have turned TYPO3 into headless CMS.
But if you want to migrate existing website, then you have already, some content elements and components that are built into this website. So you need new declarations of rendering for those content elements, and you need to set up this front-end application, which is called NuxTypo3, and move those components into this front-end application.
And in terms of the ongoing development of the extension, is it just you guys working on it, or is there a bigger team involved right now?
Okay, in terms of developing it, this project is, of course, publicly available on GitHub, and I think we have like 40 contributors.
Something like that, yes.
So about 40 contributors. Some of them are active and are not related to Macopedia or to TYPO3 Headless at all, but are working on this solution and they are contributing. But when it comes to TYPO3 Headless team, we have like 2 or 3 active members that work on a solution on the Headless extension. And for the front-end part, it's the same, like 2 or 3 active developers that are developing.
Yes, with Łukasz, we mainly maintaining and try to have consistent approach to the headless, but we only making the backend side. Our front-end team is responsible for front-end part, because in the headless you have 2 parts. One is TYPO3 as a backend and our TYPO3 extension, and second part is the basic stuff to start a front-end application, because when you dealing with headless, you need to have a front-end application. But in our approach, we don't force you to have any particular front-end stack. For example, if you like React, you can go React. You can like Angular, you can go Angular. For example, you Next.js, go for it. But in those cases, you have to start from scratch. We recommend to use the NuxTypo3 because, in our opinion, is mostly just fine. And also, we provide for you basic support for all core content elements out of box, handling, routing, languages, etc. So you don't have to start from scratch and build everything by yourself, and your development time and cost are way low. So this is recommended, but you are not forced to do it. So,
do you also support Bootstrap content elements, the Bootstrap package content elements?
Okay, and so about a Bootstrap package, I know that there are some community guys. They created an organization called Friends of TYPO3 Headless, and they developed Bootstrap package based on this. But going back to this approach with Headless and NuxTypo3, this NuxTypo3 application, you can think of it as some kind of introduction package, because we give you all of functionalities that TYPO3 brings you out of box. So you don't have to, write this JavaScript to handle every single stuff. So options in appearance, for example, or as Tomek said, in language handling. And then it's like you install a TYPO3 Headless, you install NuxTypo3, and you can start developing your website.
Yeah, cool. I assume forms are supported as well.
Forms are supported as well, and we have this approach that we support every main core extension. So we have support for workspaces, front-end login, and SEO, of course, forms, and like every single core. And of course, we provide support for a lot of community extensions. So if you want to use News or PowerMail or Solar, then
we try to support it as much as possible. And also we try to stay to the flow of the TYPO3 core. So most of the feature from the core from the fluid, for example, your TypoScript declaration should work just fine in headless context, mostly. Okay, you will have to adjust in some cases for the headless context, but mostly should work just because we don't reinvent the wheel. We just use the concepts and flow of the TYPO3. So if you know TYPO3, after some introduction or some short workshop, after you can go to build awesome website with it.
And looking to the future, what's next for the project? Are there any new features you're working on right now, or is it just a case of maintaining and keeping up to date with TYPO3 12 or 13? Is there anything new on the pipeline?
Well, for now, we are maintaining it. Mostly, we are working on some roadmap to come up with new features that will make it even better.
One thing I'm working on right now, and it's work in progress, but very nice for the migration part. I want to introduce a better way to migrate website, because right now we can migrate everything just fine, but you have to do some DevOps stuff to properly do it, and a little bit tricky. You can do it. It's not too much work, but it's work. But I want to simplify the feature sets, because TYPO3, as you can probably know, you can support many websites on one instance, and headless in some cases can block it. For example, for fluid instance, so we have to feature flag some instance. But I'm working on feature that you can have better way. What we're calling this feature mixed mode. So you have the website in headless and fluid in the same instance, and especially in same tree, so we can move it around.
So the big question is the extension key names if I want to get started with the headless.
Okay, so the best way to get started is to go to TYPO3 Headless Organization on GitHub. Here you can find every repository that is required. If you want to start and look how this whole solution works and how this solution feels, I recommend you to check PWA demo, and that's like a 5 minutes setup, and you will have working TYPO3 headless and front-end application at the same time. You can click on it, check how it feels, how it looks, work with content, and when you want to develop application, then you go to extension headless and next TYPO3.
Awesome.
Of course, this PWA demo consists of TYPO3 headless and next TYPO3, but it's bundled, and it's working as just a technology demo.
I'll link to those in the show notes as well, so people listening can find out some more information. Thomas and Lucas, thank you ever so much for speaking to me today. I hope you had a good week. I really enjoyed your workshops as well. So thanks for coming down, and I wish you a safe travel back home as well. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now for our first sponsor, Ionos. Ionos is a renowned global provider of cloud infrastructure and web hosting solutions. With their comprehensive range of services, including domain registration, website building tools, and flexible hosting plans, they empower businesses to thrive online. Ionos' robust infrastructure, paired with their exceptional support, makes them an ideal choice for TYPO3 developers seeking a reliable and scalable hosting environment for their projects. To find out more, visit ionos.com. Next, we speak to Abramo Tesoro, a front-end developer from the Italian agency Archimedi Informatica. Abramo gave a talk on his Bootstrap Italia site package at this year's Developer Days, and in this interview, I wanted to find out more about his Bootstrap Italia project, the current state of TYPO3 in Italy, and I also try and fail to land a free holiday. I'm joined with Abramo Tesoro today. Abramo, the last time I saw you was in 2017 at the User Experience Week in Weissenberg. So it's really nice to see you again after quite a long period of time. I thought I'd ask how you're doing. How's things generally?
Thank you for this talk. Well, I'm very happy to be here. This is the first time for me at the TYPO3 Developer Days. It's an amazing experience for me, very challenging and interesting. I learn a lot from other talks, so very happy to be here. Thank you for accepting my speech.
Fantastic. So we're on the third day. Things are starting to wrap up slowly now, and you've just given your talk. Could you tell us a little bit about your talk and what was discussed?
Yeah, of course. it's mainly a case study. We have presented our site package. We developed a site package. A site package to build a website for Italian municipality, accessibility website, of course. And this site package implements the Bootstrap Italia framework. Bootstrap Italia is a specialization of Bootstrap. So in Italy exists a governative agency that is called AGID, A-G-I-D, that released this framework. It's not only CSS libraries, it's something more, because they focus not only on the accessibility issues, but also on the data information structure. So I think in Germany it's different, but in Italy, when you develop a website for a municipality, you have a specific template to apply with a specific data information structure. So you have to have that page in that position and so on. So it's a little bit boring from a front-end point of view, but the focus there is that the information has to be ever in the same places, because the citizens have to find them easily in every town they go. So this is an important project for our company because it's a big project. We developed this site package for 2 different municipalities. Each of them ask for funds from EU, the Next Generation EU, that is funded these projects, and they share these funds in this one project. So this is the idea of the AGIT, to reuse the software. The public administration don't have to buy a software and buy it again and again and again. But when a public administration buys a software, another administration can use that. So 2 different websites, 2 different municipalities, but the same project. As another important aspect of this site package for us, it's important not only for our company, because it's an important project, as I already said, but I hope it is an important project also for the TYPO3 Italian community, because Bootstrap Italia was released some years ago, and already exists a plugin for WordPress that implements that, another one for Drupal, and something else. Some headless templates and so on. So TYPO3 is still missing until yet, and our goal was to release that. We will release this site package. It is mandatory for us. We will release in any situation, but in this case, it's also mandatory. Because to have the public fund, for the rule that I previously mentioned, every software you developed, you have to public on a repository that is called Catalogo del Riuso, that it means the use catalog. So it's an important project for us, and I hope an important project for the community, because we will have soon a site package for build website for public administration in Italy, made by TYPO3, powered by TYPO3.
So stepping back a little bit, I know I spoke to you in 2017 about the Italian market and TYPO3 usage in Italy. Since the last time we spoke, has TYPO3's market share grown or has it declined? What's the current state of TYPO3 in Italy from your perspective?
Yeah, of course. Our perspective is a little bit strange. I mean, the perspective of our company. I think it's stable or a little bit decreasing, okay? For us, still as an important asset, for the main reason is that we love TYPO3. I mean, I work with a lot of CMS because I'm mainly a front-end developer. I use WordPress, I use OJS, I use other CMS. I have used Joomla, for example. And the other CMS are really messy, you know. OJS works fine for some aspects, but the power of TYPO3, the capacity that we have to model the backend around the customer needs and so on, We don't have it with other tools, so we still want to use it. And because in the Italian community there are no so many company that work with them, it works for us. They find them, they ask for them, and we release it. And we made it as an asset important for the accessibility in this case, because we can do website for municipalities with other instruments, of course. But this is perfect for us, and we want to release this site package and improve it, because we think it can have a future. We hope it helps to increase the Italian community usage of TYPO3, because we hope that we want to present that also to Agit. We hope that when we show them how powerful can TYPO3 be and how can fit that problem, it could be used more and more. The approach of Agid, I'm sorry, I'm getting back to the previous, is to be agnostic in respect of the CMS. Okay, so they won't choose any CMS as preferable CMS. I think in Germany it's happened something different. But we hope to increase the usage and to help Italian community to have a new tool to use, really out of the box.
So if I'm an Italian agency or an Italian freelancer and I want to start using TYPO3, be it for a commercial project or my own personal project, what resources are available to me to get me up to speed with TYPO3 in Italy?
Well, some years ago, the things was better, because we still have a community that joined together and we create events. We have had some events, some Italy Camp. But nowadays, the company are working with TYPO3 works stand all alone. This is sadly to said. When I come here in Germany, I saw you, and I admire your capacity to create a community and join together and help each other, You are a different company, different freelancer. Everybody made his own job, but everybody shares something for the others. In Italy, we are far, and it doesn't work well, this fact. This is sadly, but this is the situation.
That's fair enough. Thank you for being so honest as well. I suppose that leads up to my final question, which is a lot of people have asked me to ask you about this actually. And that question is, will there be a sprint in Italy in the summer perhaps?
Well, as I already said in the past, we organize a lot of sprints. Oh, a sprint. Oh, yeah, a sprint. Sorry. Oh, I touched the table. Well, a sprint. If the TYPO3 community want to organize a sprint, we can help and we can be the Havana agent, because we don't have the strong to organize by ourselves. We don't have so many developers, so you have to come from here. I think we can have 5 or 6 developers, in such a similar event. But, well, if you want to be on the beach, as you will do in Fuerteventura, and do some coding in the afternoon, let's talk about it.
Abramo, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being on the show. And I'll see you in Italy, I hope.
Okay, thank you very much.
And now a message from our second sponsor, PIA UDG. PIA UDG is a top agency specializing in digital transformation, combining consulting, strategy, branding, creativity, UX media, platforms, CRM, and data analytics. They deliver a fully integrated, data-driven customer experience for international corporations and market-leading SMEs. For more information, visit udg.de. And to our final interview with TYPO3 Association board member, Matthias Bolt-Lesniak. Matthias Bolt-Lesniak, thank you for joining me today. It's a Saturday afternoon. Things are starting to wrap up a little bit now. I just wanted to stop by and just ask you about your work this weekend with the TYPO3 Association and find out a little bit more about what you guys were doing at the Developer Days this year.
So thank you first very much for inviting me here today. It's really nice to be here and to get this opportunity to recap a bit what we've done during these few days in Karlsruhe and in Germany. And we've been trying to do in the association is really to try to be available. All of the board members, or 6 out of 8 board members, have been present at the conference. And what we have seen is really that the Developer Days is a fantastic venue for us to get in contact with both our members and potential members and people who are in some way active within the TYPO3 community. And what we see with that is it isn't just a way for us to talk about what we're doing, but it's also about hearing what people's concerns are. What are people needing TYPO3 for? How do people want TYPO3 to develop in the next, well, let's say 5 years?
And I've noticed there's these kudos cards I've seen around, which I really like. Could you tell me a little bit about them?
Yeah, we've tried to. I mean, we have this TYPO3 Association lounge that we set up this year, and it's been working perfectly. And in order to have something to talk about and some activities to do that people can come to the lounge for, we made some cards, and one of those cards is the kudos card, and I'm sitting sort of grey card with some orange and lighter grey on it, and it basically asks you to say your name and then state who your TYPO3 superhero is and why. And as you know, superheroes is sort of a topic that we have in the TYPO3 community at the moment. It's been the big thing with version 12. So people can really, just write their name and then say, well, maybe Tom, you're my superhero, and I write your name down, and then I can hand in this card. And when I hand it in, it's being hung up on a wall so other people can go and read it, and maybe you even read it, and come by and you feel nice about that. But then the really cool thing about it is that it gives you the opportunity to win a prize. Not me, but you as my superhero, you can win a prize this afternoon. We're going to announce it.
Wow, that's really cool. And I've seen the board, and there's literally 30, maybe 40 cards on there. There's a lot of cards on there.
It's actually 65.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's some really, there are people from all over the community I've seen on the board, all doing very different things as well. So it's been really nice to see that this year. So the other thing I noticed was the cards, the power cards or the bingo cards. There have been, I see them as bingo cards, but yeah.
It's only one of them that's actually called a bingo card, and that's the card that's not a bingo. But anyway, so well, I talked about the gray and orange card, and we have a blue card, and that is the T3DD23 Power Boost card. So I guess, you might need a power boost after the social night or something, but this card is really about trying to find new things to do at the Developer Days, try to push yourself a little bit. And so it's a 4x4 square with different tasks that you can check off. And it's everything from really simple things like attended a talk, which I guess most people managed to do during the 3 days, and all the way to explain data handler minutiae, which I guess most people didn't manage to do, but that explains data handler in in a way too. So it's really a list of tasks that maybe challenges you a little bit, but also makes you think a bit creatively. It's also what we have here is things that might seem really difficult, but that are actually really simple. So many people have come to me and said, well, I can never manage 12 of these 16 tasks. But then we sit down together and we look at them. And of course, one of them is to make a selfie with a TYPO3 Association board member. Well, I'm available, so that's really easy. Some have done it with other people as well. But then you also have a really, really cool thing, which is contributed to TYPO3 while outdoors. Okay. And many people come to me and say that, well, that's impossible. It's been raining most of the days and it's been bad weather, but then I can tell them that, well, You were actually out there when we did the group photo. Well, that's a TYPO3 contribution. You were there. Yeah. You did something for TYPO3. It doesn't have to be more than that. So it's really nice that way.
And what I like about it, I think I'm in particular guilty of going to events and kind of staying within my own crowd, speaking to my colleagues or people I already know. And what I liked about the card was it's just a card where it encouraged people just to step a little bit out of their boundaries at these events. And I find, at least from my own experience, the second you do that, you start having conversations with new people, you end up learning so much about them and their experiences with TYPO3, and equally they had similar questions for me, and it's always a worthwhile experience trying to talk to new people, which can be hard at times, but it certainly pays off in the end. So I really like that card as well. So as the Developer Days draws to a close, from your perspective and the board's perspective, what's next, or what's on your radar after this?
Well, the next really big thing is, of course, T3Con, the TYPO3 conference, which is being organized from the 12th to the 13th of October in Düsseldorf, here in Germany. And that's going to be quite a different event, but we're really excited about that because we're trying out a totally new format for it that I think will really change the way tech conferences are being organized.
Awesome. I think that's it from me. So thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in Düsseldorf in October.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And that's it for August's extended episode. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions or feedback, you can contact us at podcast@typo3.com. We're always looking out for participants, so if you'd like to be featured or want to take part, please reach out to us. I've been your host, Tom Morrick, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Take care.